about women in business. So we just wanted to catch up with you and obviously talk about everything you have going on. So 2016 was a very successful year for you. What was the biggest difference from running your own shop and obviously being in Black Ink?
The biggest difference?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest difference is, I had to take full control of my situation in Pretty and Ink. So that was, all of my decisions. My mom is my shop manager, so she runs the shop when I'm not there and makes sure everything goes as planned. But as far as, how decisions are made, it's pretty much everything on my back. And that was a big difference because being in a relationship with someone who owns a business, like, it was me being helpful to him, but not having to be responsible for it. You know what I'm saying? So it changes things when it's yours, when you have to be accountable for it, when you got to make sure those bills are paid, when you got to make sure your employees want to come to work. Like, it was just a different experience for me because I was on the other side of it.
Sure. How was it hard to balance, I guess, your time in New York and your time back home?
Yeah, honestly, for the first 8 months of my business, I hate to admit, but I didn't spend as much time in there as I would have liked to because of my demand having to be in New York, trying to keep my relationship and still be a part of filming to a large capacity. So it just kept me away from the things that I needed to really be responsible for at my shop. So it was really hard. Every 2-3 days I'm at the airport trying to get back and forth, either in New York or in Charlotte, trying to make sure that I can get the stuff I need to get done in Charlotte and then be able to spend quality time with my man and still work when I could in New York as far as tattooing, in addition to still being a part of filming. So it was a lot. It was something that I didn't expect to have to go through like that. That wasn't the initial plan. So, you just have to kind of roll with the punches.
Well, having said that, like the cameras, would you bring the cameras to Pretty and Ink, or it's like a total no-go for you?
The cameras come to Pretty and Ink here and there this season, but it's not a consistent thing. I think having that balance for it being a new business for me, I think it's a good thing. I'm not against it. I'm just kind of growing with the business. And if that opportunity is something that I start to take more serious, which I'm looking towards that direction, then hopefully it'll be a different situation than what I've went through at Black Ink.
For sure.
Like, the shops are two totally different worlds, so it's like nothing against either situation. They're just different. And having that difference is kind of, I appreciate having that difference, especially now.
For sure. So what are we going to see more of this season versus other past seasons, as far as Dutchess is concerned?
As far as I'm concerned, like, now I'm a lot less reactionary. Like, you don't see a reaction every time somebody talking junk, every time somebody doing something. I have so many other things going on in my life that I just don't have time to bottle feed the negativity. Like in previous seasons, I sit there and be, real emotionally attached to situations, really emotionally driven. Now this season, you see me a lot more focused, a lot more detached. I kind of feel like I grew up a little bit, so I don't see the purpose of that stuff anymore. So like to sit here and go back and forth with somebody, it's not really going to be like a priority for me. I'm more focused on the things that I got to do. And now that I have so many responsibilities, you have no choice but to be that focused, especially when you want it.
For sure. And obviously it's hard because everybody sees your relationship playing out, or will they see it playing out, or it's kind of just like whatever?
In my opinion, I would say no. Me and C's have barely even talked since we broke up. I can count on my hands how many times we've communicated, which is not a good thing, but it is what it is. In this TV show, I'm pretty sure they're going to drag it out to make it look like a million other things other than what it really was, which is kind of been my hardship with having a public relationship. Me and C's together, I was very happy with him. Like, me and him being together and doing the stuff that we do, that was some of the happiest moments of my life. But in the same token, having to be with him and still be surrounded by nothing but negativity, it kind of drowns out how you feel and even loving yourself. That was what was really hard for me.
Would you say that if there were no cameras, if there were no anything, y'all would be fine, basically?
Yeah, we would still be together. Everything would be probably better than it's ever been. When you have so many people feeling like they have the grounds to have an opinion of your relationship or who you are as a person, it, for me, has been emotionally draining because everybody's like, well, you can't pay attention to that. You can't focus on that. When you have over, a ridiculous amount of people, being cyberbullies or just feeling like they have the right to have an opinion on things, you don't have no choice but to kind of like feel a little closed in because you don't know how to even be yourself, because being yourself, people see what they see and they accept that as face value, as opposed to looking deeper into how things are made and how things are created, especially with reality TV. So it's just kind of hard dealing with public perception when you are trying to, like, love yourself and focus on the things that are important to you when everybody else is focusing on the things that really have no value.
And I would assume that the things that do make you feel good and do make you love yourself are just everything else that you have going on, like business-wise.
Yeah, I'm start back in school next week. Finish my mortuary science. Yeah, I finished my mortuary science degree. I have like 2.5 more semesters to go. So I'm trying to finish by December. I actually closed on my property for the funeral home here in Charlotte, hopefully within the next month or so. So that's been a big part of, the things that I'm really just trying to engulf myself in.
Why that lane, if you don't mind me asking?
When I graduated high school, that was my dream. Like, I thought I was going to be a mortician. I thought I was going to have a funeral home. That's what I wanted to do. But when I went to college, things just changed. Everything changed. I changed my major like maybe 2 or 3 times. And finally I graduated with a marketing degree. And getting into business, that kind of what took me away from that desire to go back into the funeral service industry. But having this opportunity to live out my dreams as an artist and do the things that I love, like now I feel like it's my duty to myself to at least fulfill that. It's not something that I have to do every day, but it's something that as my childhood dream, I've always wanted to do. I feel like it's very important that when people die, you're able to see your loved one in a place of peace. Not, how sometimes you go to a funeral and you're like, oh my God, they don't look nothing like themselves. To me, that's a disservice in the industry, because being able to create that beauty, that's what people, I feel like is a peaceful way to allow someone to go. So my mentor, she owns a 3 funeral homes actually in the Midwest, and that's what her specialty is, reconstruction. She's had people who got shot in the face, and she restored them to look damn near identical to how their mother showed them the picture of when she remembered them, So that's just something that I feel like if it's a gift and it's something that I'm not afraid to do, then why not do it? It's something that I've always had a passion for and kind of intrigued So now I'm just trying to take some time and give it the energy that I should have given it to see if it's something that I really, really want. Because I love tattooing, and that's not going to ever change. But, you know, you always have your childhood dreams, and I want to be that woman that said I actually lived up to all of my dreams, not sat back and wished I should have did this, I would have done this, I could have did this. I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that says, you know, you can do whatever you want, and after you do it, if you find you want to do something else, then do that too, because it's your life, and you have to live it to your fullest potential, so you don't have any regrets.
Completely feel you. And in addition to that, you have your Pretty in Ink cover. Is this going to be in your book, or is it
well,
different?
I'm working with a company to do a possible series of books, but the first book that we're working on is a coffee table book called Pretty in Ink. It's basically going to be like a 8.5 by 11 hardbound coffee table book that has like these beautiful images of people in their tattoos. Instead of it being like the traditional tattoo model type of thing, I wanted it to be everyday people. So it's going to be people that you will see walking down the street, people you see at the grocery store, people you might see at the library. And these are people that have gotten these beautiful pieces of artwork and the reasons behind why they got it. Like, a lot of people don't understand that the stories that are behind these tattoos are the real reasons why people have fallen in love with this culture.
Right.
It's another way of having a sense of identity, another way of having something that tells your story, and everybody has a story. So it's just my way of trying to show people, especially people that don't have tattoos, to give them a level of understanding of why tattoos mean so much to this new generation of self-independence and self-expression, and why these are the ways that we choose to do these things, because a lot of people don't understand it.
For sure. I don't have any tattoos, but I want one. So,
what would be your first one?
I don't know. I always, my problem is I never wanted to do something that didn't mean anything.
So permanent.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to get
my number
meaningful.
one piece of advice, you got to make sure it's something that every day when you wake up and go to sleep, you can live with that. And as long as it's like that, then you'll always love it. Like, you'll never regret it. A lot of times people, especially people that come in the shop, they're like, oh, I just want to get something. And you're like, what? Like, you don't even want to think about this. You don't even want to have, like, your own opinion. You just want me to do whatever. And then later on, they're like, well, I want to cover this, or I want to change this. When all it takes is a little bit of time. Like, I tell people all the time, especially people that come in for their first tattoo, and they're a little iffy about it. I'm like, look, go home and think about it, because it's for life. And once you make that decision, it's no turning back. It's done. So as long as you can live with it, you'll be all right.
I will definitely take that and do that before my first. I'll probably only get one.
Well, you always have an open invitation to make sure that my hand can do that tattoo for you. Yay. You just let me know when and where.
For sure. So your Lattimore Foundation, please talk and give information about that and what's going on.
So Pretty in Ink and Lattimore Foundation, that's me and my sister's nonprofit. We try to do as much as we can. Every month we do a charity event that's geared towards a specific demographic in the community. When we first started, we did an art class for the kids in the foster home. They all came to the shop. I shut the shop down. We had the whole little art layout. They had their canvases with their little paint brushes, all of their little paints out. It was a really, really dope and beautiful event. I have some of their artwork hanging in the shop right now. Another time we did 10 women from the Salvation Army Center for Hope. I gave the women head-to-toe makeovers. We had nail techs, makeup artists, beauticians, all came to the shop. We set up stations like musical chairs and let each lady sit in the station to get herself pampered and taken care of. Some of these women hadn't received a new dress in over 10 years. It was so amazing to see the smiles on their faces and how much they appreciate it. 3 of those women now have jobs and are living in their own apartments and call the shop every month to give me an update.
Wow.
So it's a beautiful thing when we can do stuff like that. Around the same time, the Panthers was going to the Super Bowl, and they didn't have a TV at the Salvation Army Center for Hope for them to watch the game. So Siege came and we took them a TV to make sure they could watch the game. Another thing we've done, the Single Dad event was an amazing event. So we had 10 single dads come to the shop. All of them bring their kids. The kids stayed at the shop. While they stayed at the shop, my mom and the shop employees babysat the kids, taught them how to make gourmet candy apples. They watched movies. They did video testimonials of how important their dad is to them. And me and C took the dads out bowling and to get haircuts.
Wow.
So while they're chilling with us at the bowling alley, one of the dads, they left their phones. I was like, don't take your phone, don't take nothing, just don't worry about nothing. I want y'all to relax and enjoy yourself. So they didn't bring their phones, and he's at the bowling alley, just antsy as I don't know what. And I'm like, what's wrong? Everything okay? He was like, can I just please call your shop and make sure my kids are okay? And I'm like, that was just one of the most amazing moments to be around, to see somebody enjoying themselves, but for them to still have their number one focus at the forefront of their mind, like, nah, we're going to do this. Let me make sure that this is happening. And I gave a scholarship. Me and my sister gave 2 scholarships away, $1,000 each to 2 deserving students. These kids went to the alternative schools where they were kicked out of the regular schools. Nobody cared about them anymore. That $1,000 that we gave them, they've been on the dean's list.
Wow.
They've stayed out of trouble. They've done a complete 360. I actually just opened up one of the cards from one of the guys eyeing, and he was telling me thank you and how much he appreciates us just believing in him. So that alternative school, we did a pep rally for them. And they've never had a function where everybody could come together in the entire school. This was their first time. That entire day they had 0 fights.
Wow.
And this is a school where it's a fight every 2 hours. It's definitely going down. And since then we're planning on now doing their first prom. These kids have never had a prom in the history of their high school.
Wow.
So we just try to do stuff that people will appreciate and people will see as something different. This month our charity event is for the elderly people, so we're going out to the nursing home and having a little nice event for them. Something that this is the only one I can say that I'm worried about.
Why?
I hope that just because the older people, it's harder to grasp them. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with kids or, people that are more active living in the world, it's a little bit easier to connect with them. So hopefully it'll turn out, really, really well, but we'll see.
I agree. Well, older people are set in their ways, kind of. So if they don't want to be bothered,
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then seeing us with all these tattoos and all of this stuff, I can only imagine how some of them are going to be looking at us like, okay, who are you? What are you?
It'll take some time, but I feel like you'll win them. You guys will win them over.
Yeah,
just a little time, 5 minutes. Just need 5 minutes to cool in.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else you want to get out there or talk about, promote?
Are
we gonna see you modeling
I'm working.
more?
I'm getting back into it now. I took a little break. I just wasn't. Sometimes you just don't be feeling in that mode, I guess you can say. I really just been focusing on Pretty and Ink and trying to get everything where I wanted to be with the business, because I want to open up another location. And then eventually I'm working on an aftercare line in my shop, so people don't have to use A&D ointment and all of these things after they get a tattoo. So it's just been a hard time to kind of give my modeling as much energy as I want when I've been just kind of focusing on Pretty Unique.
Gotcha. Well, you serve life,
but
so we can't wait to see that.
Yes. Very excited. Another thing I'm working on too with it's a really, really dope author named Just Mike, Michael Reed. But me and him are actually working on a book that has nothing to do with my Pretty and Ink coffee table book, but it's just kind of a book about my whole transition and process and dealing with like the emotional side of having a public relationship, having a public breakup, like being engaged. Like I lost the best friend that I had, which was my choice, but I had to have peace in order to have love for myself. So it was just a really, really hard experience.
Is there well, two things. Is there a clear-cut reason on why you guys split, and do you feel like there's any kind of future?
Well, I mean, the split was because of a lot of reasons. I've been stuck in New York, and being around Steve, it was a beautiful experience. Like, I love him. I still love him with all my heart. But being surrounded around all of the people that despise me, don't even know me, but hate me for no reason, speak so ill of me, always instigating and starting issues between me and him, it started to get to a point where I couldn't have peace. I couldn't even have happiness. I couldn't love myself because I was in a toxic environment. And not that my love was toxic, but the environment surrounding it was toxic. And to be in that situation, it's hard, and I can't force him to choose me or his friends. That's not fair. But I have to choose me to have some love for myself, because in the end, I can't just be surrounded by so much hate and negativity and have no energy to love myself. It started to just get to a point where it was sickening and suffocating for me to just be in an environment that I wasn't happy in.
Yeah. Completely understand.
Steve has a very big loyalty to his friends, and sometimes that's a beautiful thing, and sometimes that's a terrible thing. So I can't fault him for how he is, and I pray that he don't fault me for how I am. But for me, I'd rather have friends around me that are on similar paths to do whatever their hearts desire, as opposed to people that just want to cheerlead me to make sure that they can get somewhere too. Like, I just want a different type of energy around me. And I get it. Like, a lot of times, you know, those situations are like that. Look how long Dame and Jay-Z was together. Look at how long, you know, like all of these successful friendships and relationships, sometimes they last forever, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
It's just something that, you know, I couldn't stand in the middle of anymore.
Well, we hope it gets a little easier as time goes on.
Yeah. Time heals all wounds. See, for me, I'm not bitter. I'm not upset. I want Steve to be happy. I want him to enjoy his life. I want him to be successful. But in the process of doing that, what I would love is for him to allow everybody in his life to leave me alone so that I can do the same.
Right.
Like, I don't see the reason why you have Scott attacking my mother in social media. That's ridiculous. There's just certain things that I feel like in this situation, certain people should not have an opinion of, because that's not their place.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, my mom has fed Steve. We stayed in her home. Like, she's treated him like she treat me.
Yeah.
She has a right to have a certain level of opinion of our relationship. And the particular incident that I'm speaking of wasn't even her having an opinion of me and Steve's relationship. That was a situation she was speaking on that had nothing to do with me and him.
Yeah.
So I just feel like certain situations should be off limits and have certain boundaries, especially boundaries of respect, because there is a certain level of time that we both invested. There is a certain level. Yeah, I know. Just she said in the video, I know all your family secrets because Steve told me. Like, Steve, sweetheart, you a boss. You a man. That's not the behavior of either character.
Yeah.
That's how females,
For sure.
and excuse my language, but that's how bitch females carry themselves. I'm not really interested in participating in these behaviors, which is why people are probably wondering why is Dutchess so absent in social media. Because I don't have time for bullshit.
Yeah.
I just don't. I got so many other great, amazing things that I'm enjoying my life. I'm actually media correspondent for Rolling Out Magazine for the NAACP Image Awards. Like, that's a big deal.
That is
like,
a big deal.
I'm excited about things that God is putting in my lap that has nothing to do with reality TV or Black ink.
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful for that platform and that opportunity and every experience that I've endured in it. But that doesn't mean it's the end all be all, you know?
Mhm. For sure.
I just feel like we all can be happy and coexist without having to be childish, petty, and tearing each other down. Because that's corny. And the last time I checked, I didn't fuck nobody or fall in love with nobody but C's.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It's a famous Instagram post that I love. A relationship is meant for two, but some people just don't know how to count. That shit is so real.
I've never seen that before, but that's funny and very true.
That shit is so true. Ugh.
So how are you planning to move forward? Like, are you not talking to the castmates, or is it just kind of like, see y'all when I see y'all?
I mean, I have no issue with anyone. But if I see that I'm continuously being attacked in social media and you don't see me saying not one word to or about these people, it kind of feel like, damn, can y'all stop bullying me? Can I just live my life the way y'all are? Can we all just agree to disagree and say, you know what, you're here, I'm there, let's just live our life?
Yeah.
I have so much respect for some of these grown men that can leave relationships without feeling like they need to tear the other person down or allow the people around them to tear the other person down. That shit shows a lot of class and valor, and just it shows a real level of a man, in my opinion. And you also see some people that don't know how to do that. Like, we just seen some other public breakups, and I was just like, it just made me delete my Instagram off my phone for a little while, because I'm like, this is so petty.
I don't understand, though, when it comes to public relationships and why it's such a big failure all the time. You know, because you see people that are genuinely into each other, that genuinely care about each other, and then the next minute it's just like, what?
Yeah.
But
you got to think about it like this. A lot of people, especially speaking on my own relationship, like me and C's, we know what we really been through. We know why we stayed together through all of this shit, because we really did love each other. We really was on the same page with one another. But when you got people that aren't on the same page with you, but are always in your ear, saying negative things, making you think negative things, planting seeds of discourse and just disrespect, it starts working on the person, and it starts making them it just makes the situation different, especially when those people have to be around you. And you know they don't like you. You know they don't care about you, but you just got to smile and act like you're cool with it. Like, that shit is hard.
For sure. For sure. Well, we hope that this season is not, well, you said it, you're not even going to be with the shit on this season, so.
Well, I mean, this season, I'm mad low-key for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm really just, I'm not even, in my opinion, I could be very wrong. Because, you know, when you see these things on TV, they're way different than how they were filmed.
Right. That's what I wanted to say. I was going to say as a last question, like, is there anything you
as far as my
up?
understanding and perception, I don't even think that I'm in this season that much, because I didn't film that often.
Okay.
But, you know, they'll have everybody dragging me through the mud while I'm gone. That's how this show shit usually works, which is really crazy to me. But it's TV, and people want to see it's unfortunate to say, but people don't want to see success and happiness and everybody riding off into the sunset, living a great, amazing life. People want to see the turmoil, the bullshit, motherfuckers talking shit, people disrespecting each other, people acting a fool with one another. That's what people want to see. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how the cookie crumbles with this shit. But you won't see me fighting with nobody, thank the Lord.
Good.
Yes. You
Good.
won't see me fighting with nobody. I'm fighting with trying to just stay successful. That's the only fight I'm fighting right now.
For sure. Well, we will be watching, but we'll be definitely watching more of you directly and keeping up with everything that's going on.
Yes, I love everything girls love. It's a beautiful thing to see that women can be empowered and on one accord without having to be hateful and, have the society standard to one another.
For sure. Thank you. So, yeah, if there's anything else, real quick, if you want to get out there, you want to print, let us know. Or you could always let Jeffrey know, and he'll contact me, and I'll be sure to add it in. And I wish you all the best, Mama.
I'm doing a, Queen U?
No. What is that?
So it's a Queen U movement that this amazing woman started, and they go from city in city doing these women empowerment joints.
Okay.
And when she reaches out to me to let me know New York, New Jersey, or the one here, any of them, I'll make sure that we reach out and let y'all know, because it's a really, really, really dope event. It doesn't have as much momentum yet, but I attended one of them, and it's something that I can see turning into something amazing.
Okay. For sure, we'll be there. I'm in New York, so for sure.
Got you.
Definitely.
And this weekend, I don't know if you know, but it's the Women Doing It Big conference.
Yes, I do know. Yes.
So I'll be there too.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
definitely. If you do make it out, reach out to me. I'll be there.
Okay. Okay, will do. Thank you so much for your time, love.
Thank you, sweetheart. I hope you have an amazing day. And Happy New Year.
Happy
and
New
much
Year.
success and prosperity to you.
Thank you. You too.